Yeah, I see it. Okay, we're recording now.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Wait, and just to check, is the transcript also happening?
I don't have that in my window at the moment. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Can anyone else
it's
see that?
probably working. Thank you.
Oh, you know why? Mitchell, you're the host. I made you the host in case when I changed to my actual I was worried that when I changed Wi-Fi's that I might lose the meeting. So I made you the host. So Mitchell,
Okay.
you have all the power.
Well, yeah, but I don't want it.
Well, you can make me the host again. I'm about to switch onto my Wi-Fi. So if we lose this, I'm calling the meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. Apologies for the late start, everyone. Welcome to the September 2025 public meeting of ANC3F. I'd like to call the meeting to order.
Second.
Second.
Oh,
Oop.
we lost Chair.
I think I heard Adrian.
Yeah,
You did, but I think we lost Chair Carlson.
With no objection, I'd like to add DC Water Sean Moore to discuss the small diameter water project during the regular agenda after UDC law.
no objections.
No objection.
Thank you. Amy, the approval of the July 2025 minutes.
Yes.
I'd like to move that we, without objection, we approve the July 2025 minutes. I trust that everyone has reviewed and carefully looked at those and feels that they are reflective of the meeting that occurred.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Great. I'd like to start with Lieutenant Forrest, who I saw is already here. Lieutenant, thank you for always being the first to log on. You are much appreciated.
And I'm going to be the timekeeper for 3 minutes on all these reports.
Mitch, can I ask that you make me the host again so that I can do the things that I need to do here?
Courtney, can you tell me how I do it, and then I will do
You
it?
go in the little 3 blue dots in the upper right-hand side.
Your 3 dots are mine.
Yours.
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe mine.
Hers. Find
Okay.
Commissioner Carlson's username, hit the 3 dots, and grant her permissions or make her co-host.
And while we're doing this Zoomy business, Lieutenant Forrest, are you there?
In the chat, it seems like she's struggling with audio.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you.
Let's.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Oh, that is
she's
weird.
unmuted.
I was about to say, yeah, that might be on your end, Lieutenant Forrest, because you definitely have permissions on our end.
We're going to give you 1 minute, and then if not, we'll move to Kendall, and then we'll circle back to you, Lieutenant.
And
All right, Kendall, from the Mayor's Office of Community Relations, let's scooch to you so we don't get behind here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kendall Gibson. I'm the Ward 3 manager in the mayor's office. Today, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the mayor's order that came out on September 2nd, as well as just where we're at in the federal surge. On Tuesday, September 2nd, the mayor signed. Oh, let me turn my camera on so you can see me. Hi, everybody. Restart my
We love to
time.
see you.
The mayor signed a mayor's order to create the Safe and Beautiful Emergency Operations Center. There's been a little bit of confusion regarding the creation of this center, so here are the facts. Preserving home rule is our North Star, and this informs every single decision that Mayor Bowser makes. Federal law enforcement was here before the federal surge, and they will be here after it too. The same way that federal law enforcement is currently in all 50 states. DC has a long history of working with our federal agency partners on a wide range of law enforcement and other shared priorities. And as a result of this presidentially declared emergency, which concluded a few days ago, our relationship with the federal government has changed forever. The Operations Center aims to face this reality. We have to change the way that we communicate with the federal government in order to work with them. And so now we're delivering federal agencies like specific DC priorities. And we need to be able to share with them what our needs are too. The mayor's order does not welcome the federal surge. It actually does the opposite. It sets up an operations framework for this period and shows that we don't need the president requesting any MPD services moving forward. In relation to the surge, I just think that we all need to recognize that there is a fundamental injustice in everything that's been happening for the past month and a half. DC is not a state. We do not have the same 10th Amendment sovereignty, which is extended to other 50 states. So our response will be different and limited compared to states and cities which share our same values. And we are going to continue the fight to achieve full autonomy and control over our destiny until we are granted statehood. So I appreciate everybody. Everybody in the ANC has been so helpful to me, and thank you to everybody who have reached out to, send well wishes during this difficult time. And I look forward to keeping you updated. And Chair Carlson, that's the coolest calendar I've ever seen. So with that, 3 minutes done. Oh, Claudette, hi.
Hey, thank you for everything that you do. Just want to quickly ask, do you know what it means when the president says that he will try to federalize DC? What does that mean?
I mean, I think that would be continued the stripping of our Home Rule Act in order to have more control over our city. It would be the president wanting to exert more control over the city, uh, first with the police force, and I don't know exactly where it would go from there, but I'm happy to follow up with you to see what exactly he's talking about. But I think he was saying that in response to our altered relationship between MPD and ICE now that the presidential emergency is over. ICE is not on the list of the federal agencies that we're cooperating with, and I think that that has triggered the president to make those kinds of threats, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kendall. I'm sure your job has gotten much more complicated than it ever has been. So we appreciate everything you do. She does kind of also continues to be tremendously responsive to the needs of ANC3F. So thank you, Kendall. I was just going to try and check in again with Lieutenant Forrest to see if your audio is resolved.
Has it suggested that she exit out and log back in?
It's a good idea.
I don't know, Lieutenant Forrest, if
Seems
you can.
unjust given that she was the first one logged on.
I know.
It
But
seems
so
like
noted,
Lieutenant Forrest is
Lieutenant,
doing
if
that.
you can hear us. So I'm going to move on to Van Ness Main Street, Gloria Garcia, with a report on the Fringe Festival, which was a resounding success.
And
Gloria.
Gloria, give me 10 seconds. There we go. Found you. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes. Thank you. Gloria Garcia, Venice Main Street. Since we last met, a lot has happened in the corridor. Fringe happened 3 weekends in July. District Fringe brought about 2,500 people to the corridor. All told, they sold 2,068 tickets and made $38,000 in ticket sales. And, you know, that was across the 3 weekends and including the free programming at the amphitheater and then the Van Ness Main Street office, which became a pop-up speakeasy, which definitely demonstrated that there is a pent-up demand for a bar-like entity on the avenue that stays open till at least 11. People that didn't even go to Fringe were at the speakeasy. So we are already in conversations for next year. So we hope to make it bigger. And yeah, Adrian has a PowerPoint that they sent over, which tells you, you know, basically the
More
stuff
or less.
they sent. Yeah. I don't know, Adrian, if you want to add to it, because you were really the driver. I was just the agent to help get UDC involved. Yeah, the press was huge, and we have a follow-up story coming in the city paper now, I believe, as well. That Adrian was interviewed for. So yeah, it's the most exciting thing is that they made more money than expected, and they were going to give 20% to the artists and keep 80% to start the fund to keep this going. But because they had better you know, outcomes, they were able to give 80% to the artists and keep 20% of their ticket sales for starting their fund for next year. Anything else in the PowerPoint, Adrian? Oh yes, the mayor's
So they were
Arts
nominated
Awards.
for the 40th annual Mayor's Arts Awards as an
Mhm.
emerging creative,
Yes.
which was nice, and they were also invited to apply for a $25,000 grant from the Morgan Fund, which is just promising that they were invited to do so, and hopefully implies that they are likely to receive that funding.
Yeah, and what's exciting is that they're very, very committed to Van Ness, the neighborhood. They really want to continue at UDC. Their goal for next year is to have 20 full run shows across 3 venues, including the amphitheater and on the UDC campus. So something else we're talking about is providing free programming for the neighborhood throughout the year. So, and we are in conversations about them looking for a fiscal sponsor or becoming a 501c3 on their own.
Yeah, and to clarify that, a lot of this year, a big part of their struggle was that the timeline was so condensed that they three separate existing theater companies united to make the Fringe Festival happen, and because the timeline was so condensed, they did not have time to register as a 501c3 before the festival took place. So it just, practically speaking, made more sense for one of those 3 theater companies to become the technical fiscal sponsor. But by next year, they will be able to register as their own entity, and Fringe itself will be a nonprofit theoretically.
Yes. So any questions on Fringe? But we're very excited. We're hoping that we can reserve that theater, the bigger theater, and a couple other venues on UDC's campus. I know we're over the 3 minutes, but I just you have a good, clean, fun recap within the agenda. And just want to add my thanks to ANC3F for making Jazz in the Park happen. It was a huge success. We had more than 133 reservations, and I would say I counted about 90 people in the park, all told, on Saturday. It was a gorgeous day to be in the park. And that was after our pop-up market where we gave out free flowers to the neighborhood, as well as we gave out about 150 DC flags for free for people who were coming by the market. So we hope to do that again on October 11th during Celebrate Van Ness Main Street. And we will have another musical guest at the park, which will be part of the bigger celebration up and down the corridor.
Okay.
And also
and I do have the doghouse. I got an update. I don't know if Juanita's on, but I heard at the end of October we might be seeing the doghouse, although I'm not sure based on what I'm seeing construction wise.
Adrian's going to post the Good Clean Fun update addendum in the chat. And I also wanted to add that as a result of a neighbor checking in with us, the park, there was a part of the tennis courts that had gotten slippery, and we were able to connect with Good Clean Fun, with DPR, and within less than a week, that was rectified, and the tennis court was power washed, and that part isn't slippery anymore. I want to thank Kendall Gibson for weighing in on that as well. But when we all work together, we can get things fixed sometimes quicker than we think. So please, if you have an issue, loop us in, get a 311, report it to us. We'd love to help fix things that the eyes and the backs of our heads don't all see.
Yeah. We actually
kudos to Fringe. What a triumph.
Yeah, it was. I mean, thank you, Adrian, because that was something that you brought to us, and like I said, couldn't have done it without you. My role was minimal in just trying to get UDC to, partner with us. So hopefully it's the first year, and we'll have many more.
Thank you, DC. And imagine what will become of this when they have the time to plan. So thank you, Fringe. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, DC. Thank you, Van Ness Main Street, for that amazing speakeasy. So super fun. What a great idea. Okay, so moving on to UDC. Juanita.
Yeah,
Are you
Juanita
here?
may already be unmuted. Should I? Oh, just kidding. I'll unmute you. Sorry, Juanita. And we will add a spotlight.
No, I'm unmuted.
There
Hello,
we are.
everyone. Juanita Gray, University of the District of Columbia. I am not going to, I know on the agenda it says that I have updates on housing and the campus plan. I wanted Javier Dusan, our VP for real estate and facilities, to come tonight, but we have our regular Board of Trustee meeting, so he's at that. So he is going to come in October and give an update on housing and the campus plan. But I do have a few additional updates. We are still in add drop. So the semester started about, I think we're in week 3 now. I don't have enrollment numbers yet because we're still in the add drop period. So in October, I will have the enrollment numbers for everyone. Just some quick updates. You'll see more action over at the 4250 or 4225, the old Walgreens. That is now our Student Success Center. So who's over there would be Career Services, our Chief Student Development and Success Officer is there, Academic Advising is there, a few other departments are over there too. So you'll see more people coming in and out of that space. Building 38, they're doing some demolition inside the building on the 3rd floor. They're renovating that space. That is the executive space where President Eddington sits with his staff. We're all now over in building 71, which is 4250, while that takes place. Update on Doghouse. So according to the notes that I've received from Javier, Doghouse construction is projected to be completed by December 2025. Inspections will follow, and then an opening date is still to be determined. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, the drawings have been submitted to the Department of Buildings. Construction timeline is pending DOB approval. And then 4250 Connecticut Avenue, Mom's lease negotiations are ongoing with a prospective tenant for the space adjacent to Mom's Organic Market. And then just some upcoming things. This Thursday is Convocation at 10 a.m. if anyone would like to join over at the Theater of the Arts. And our homecoming will be coming up in November, but I will give more details about that later. So with that, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I will say I've been shopping a lot at Mom's, and I think it's just a fantastic addition to the neighborhood. There is also never a line, so I encourage everyone to go shop at Mom's. Their selection is amazing. It's a wonderful neighborhood addition. But we also, as a neighborhood, have to band together and support these businesses that have made a commitment to our neighborhood. So I encourage everyone to thank UDC for bringing them in, and thank Moms for being there, and patronize them as you can.
I do have one additional thing. There's
Okay.
large scale signage, exterior signage that's going to be going on the Student Center, 4250, the law school. It's currently in fabrication. Installation is anticipated by homecoming, which is November 16th. So I will also have Javier give a demonstration of what that's going to look like in October as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Juanita.
You're welcome.
I'm going to check in again on Lieutenant Forrest. Lieutenant, do you see her, Adrian?
I've asked her to unmute. Lieutenant, we'll see if it works this time. You are unmuted. It does not seem like we can hear you. I'm so sorry. Lieutenant, have you checked? Oh, you're muted again. Have you double checked your microphone settings to check that your that Zoom isn't trying to use the wrong microphone or something on your computer? That is the only thing I could think of, because sometimes my Zoom will try and use my web camera's microphone, which doesn't actually work. But that is the only fruitful thing I have to offer. I'm sorry. Because you're unmuted on our end. You should definitely be able to be audible if your microphone is working.
Yeah, but
Otherwise,
there
she can
seems
call
to-
me and I can put her on speakerphone.
But there seem to be other people that are muted. I was on.
No,
I was-
everybody is muted. No, but when you are unmuted, you should be able to speak. And everybody who has been unmuted so far is able to speak. So this is definitely more so a microphone issue on Lieutenant's end, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Chair Carlson, I think that there was a Kenneth Carter had a question. His
Correct.
hand was raised.
Um,
I'm not sure if that was for Juanita or.
I was about to say, Kenneth, I've asked you to unmute. If this was a question about the UDC presentation, that'd be great to ask now. Otherwise, we'd ask you to hold on to it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say hello to everyone. My name is Kenneth Carter. I'm new to Ward 3. I was invited to this meeting by Mitchell. I'm his neighbor, but I'm a adjunct professor at UDC. So I kind of just wanted to just pigtail follow up with Anita. Maybe I could just give her my email address, and I'd love to help out with anything
Fine.
impacting
Thank you.
anything impacting UDC.
That's amazing. Thanks for introducing yourself, Kenneth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, we're going to keep working on Lieutenant Forrest. And in the meantime, we're going to move to housing and neighborhoods. Terry, I spoke to Terry briefly this evening, and I wanted to also give Harry Garal a chance to update us on the vote tomorrow on the Rental Act. So Terry, do you want to kick it off and kick it over to Harry?
Hi, good evening. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks, Chair Carlson. Thank you so much. In reference to this Rental Act, if you're not aware, one of the major components is if a development is new, they no longer fall under. When this act is voted in, from this date forward, if a rental unit is being built and it's permitted for housing from the date it's voted in and onward, TOPA rights will not be applied. And I was talking to someone in DOB today, just trying to wrap our heads around some of this stuff. And one of the items is, for example, if a building is bought, it's an older building and it's knocked down to the foundation and then built new, 100% new, those TOPA rights are not applied. So I think that if you're not aware, just understand that there are these long-term implications. If the structure is currently standing, the TOPA rights to this act continue for all buildings. To me, that's the biggest part. So thanks. Now, do you want me?
Thank you. Yeah, Jen, and I just wanted to introduce Harry Garral, which frequent visitors of our meeting will know as well. And Harry has also has some information on the vote tomorrow as well. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Harry Garral. I'm the head of the Tenants Association at 3003 Van Ness. And just wanted to give you, follow up what Terry was saying about this. So in the Rental Act, which is going to be voted on tomorrow morning, probably starting in the morning, there is this provision that would strip certain tenants in certain buildings of the right to proceed under TOPA, which currently gives them the ability to have right of first refusal if a building goes up for sale. And generally, tenants don't use that right. They can purchase the building as the tenant association, but what they largely do is they seek a deal with the incoming buyer, or they seek a buyer that will improve conditions in the building. And that, in fact, is what happened with Terry's building, the Albemarle, when the owner of the building decided to sell the building. And then the tenants had some options and voted against one and for the other, and I think came out with a better deal. The reason why this legislation, this provision in the legislation is important and very bad for tenants, and I think bad for the neighborhood, is partly because it deprives existing tenants of their rights, but also partly because it allows owners of these buildings and possible purchasers to flip the buildings because the exemption is for buildings that are turned into income restricted housing. And otherwise they're called affordable housing, but it's people below a certain income only can rent in those buildings. Although it's possible that some existing tenants will be able to be grandfathered in. In the case of Terry's building, the tenants voted very strongly against that. I think it was 124 to 12. Now, under this legislation, they wouldn't have that choice. The building would be converted to income restricted housing. Now, what we've seen in Ward 3, and particularly up and down Connecticut Avenue, is another partial attempt to flip apartment buildings into income restricted housing, which in effect has become quasi-public housing, privately operated, but funded by taxpayers through housing vouchers. But this would give those owners of those properties a chance to get even more money by getting money from the Low Income Housing Trust Fund, from other incentives from the Bowser administration in her Cash to Covenants program. And we really don't know how much money would go to those developers. But the proposal that's in this legislation that has to do with TOPA was invented by the industry. It's not something that is built to help tenants. It's for the industry and for to make money for the industry. And it could mean a mass turning of these buildings permanently into income restricted housing. Now, I can say from our building, and I think Terry might agree, and people who live in the Brandywine and Sedgwick Gardens and 10 or 12 other buildings on Connecticut Avenue. This experiment so far has been a complete disaster because the other rules and laws that DC has pertaining how leases work and whether or not landlords can check people who are coming in for past criminal violations, etc. But we've seen a huge increase in crime. Which is not, I'd be very careful to say that if you come in and you have a voucher or you have a lower income, that you're a criminal or a bad person. Many are good neighbors. And I know people who have them in the tenant association. But by and large, this has been a disaster with hugely spiking crime. Our building has 30 to 60 calls to 911 for MPD support every month. We record those records. The Brandywine has the same. Sedgwick Garden has the same. So this has been a disaster. The city wants to expand that disaster and make it easier for tenants to go around TOPA. So Councilmember Fruman has been a great supporter on this and has introduced an amendment that would strip that anti-TOPA legislation. Now, I've spoken to him to get a sense of where that stands, and it's possible that Chairman Phil Mendelson will also put an amendment with some other members that will do the same thing and some other things. So if that amendment is introduced, it's possible that Councilmember Fruman's legislation won't be necessary. So the important thing is here that if you think that this anti-TOPA legislation, which will enable the quicker and easier conversion of these buildings, is a bad idea, that time is tight, but you should write an email to your council member or to council members at large so they know, because they're hearing all the time from the industry and AOBA that represents the industry, and they are powerful forces. Now they need also to hear from tenants and also from neighbors. So if you don't live in one of these rental buildings, you probably know that this has been a disaster overall for the neighborhood. And I don't think you want to have something that's going to accelerate that disaster. And if the DC Council wants to proceed carefully on whatever issues, it should do so openly, but not by this backdoor way of depriving renters of their rights and potentially creating great harm that far exceeds what's recognized now. So if you'd like to do that, I'm going to, not sure how to do this, Courtney, either.
I gotcha. I'll put it in the chat.
I'll
Yeah,
send
we'll
it
put the
to you.
information in the chat.
I will email Courtney the information, which has email addresses. I have it in a different forms. One is the individual members who are either leaning yes or leaning no. Those are the ones that need to be contacted. I've also put them in a form that it's just comma delineated or semicolon delineated. So if you don't have time to write a note to your council member, you can just put your name in the two and then put them all in the BCC. It's not as preferred, but just sign it with your name and they'll get the message. And
I'm going to put all the information, and this is information that was posted on the Chevy Chase and various listservs.
Posted on the
in the
Chevy
chat.
Chase listserv, correct. And also the Cleveland Park listserv.
Yeah, so
I'm
people
also
can
going
read
to
it.
give you a link to a longer explanation that I put on the listserv in case you aren't a member of the listserv. And I'm going to give you some very short language that you can cut and paste if you want to send an email like that. It's just simple. You can change it, you can use it, but I know how hard it is to craft, thoughts on a complicated issue. So I've saved you that time.
Thank you so much, Harry. Commissioner Carlson or Chair Carlson is going to share all of that. And quickly, not to cut you off, Commissioner David, just because I saw Captain Darren raising his
Captain Haskis, yeah, is on
for a while. I've unmuted you, Captain Haskis.
Oh, thank you so much, Commissioners. Apologies on behalf of the second district. Lieutenant Forrest was having technical issues, so I was on the meeting.
Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, with, I just finished from ANC3A, your neighbors over there, so. Forgive me if I'm not 100% prepared for 3F, but I will give you all a basic report and should be able to answer most any question you could ask. Well, let's say a good amount of questions on these. So in terms of
Captain Haskins,
basic-
I'm so sorry to interrupt,
Oh.
and Chair Carlson, feel free to interrupt me if this is
Sure.
out of line. But just to keep the flow of things going, I think
Oh, yeah,
Commissioner
I'm sorry.
David had a question about what we were just talking about. Let's get that out of the way and then circle back to this. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Amazing. Sorry.
Thank you, Adrian. Nope. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you. I just wanted to quickly ask if Harry, it looks like Harry thinks that this bill, there's a high likelihood that it will pass. And I'm just wondering what would be the direct impact? How quickly do you think it will be? Like, do you think rental housing will increase for folks and, make people leave the city? Like, what do you think is the direct negative impact and how soon do you think it'll happen? Thank
Yeah,
you.
so first I'll say that I'm not sure that where the vote will be on this. When there was an earlier vote on Matt Fruman's legislation, it was the 6-6 tie. And it can't pass on a 6-6 tie, it needs 7-5. But there's been work going on, and Phil Mendelson now appears to be offering an amendment, and you would hope that other members will follow on to that. So what I'm going to send in a second will show where those possible votes are. And I'm cautiously optimistic that the amendment stripping the bad legislation or bad provision will pass. But we don't know that for certain. That's why I've encouraged all our members at our tenant association. I've got 450 people I sent it to. And there's been a letter that's gone out to a lot of tenant associations around the city about this. But hopefully, if some relatively small number or decent number of people write their council members, it'll have some kind of effect. How it would affect the neighborhood in the short term, it's really hard to know, and how fast that would happen if the anti-TOPA legislation goes through. I think, Claudette, I think that's your question. Now, I know that in the case of our building 3003 Van Ness, there was an attempt to flip the building 3 or 4 years ago, and by circumventing TOPA, and we blocked that because we wanted a chance to have a say in the future of the building. And then in Terry's building, there was an attempt to flip the building. There have been some successful conversions already. And as you probably heard me say at these meetings before, I'm very for affordable housing and helping people who need housing assistance. But what they're doing is they're picking up public housing in one place and putting it somewhere else with a very high concentration of poverty. The people who have been housed thus far often come directly from homelessness, which is a more
And
challenging
Harry, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I do think we've got a fair handle on the overall issue, but just to answer Commissioner David's question about the likelihood of the passing, and if we could focus on that to move forward.
Yeah, as I say, I don't know that, but I think there's a chance that the amendment that strips the anti-TOPA legislation will pass, but it kind of depends on people putting in their 2 cents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harry, for being here. Thank you, Adrian, for keeping us on time. I really appreciate the information. I mean, I think like some of us thought we were plugged into the issue and really didn't see this coming up. So appreciate your keeping us all aware. And I would like to reiterate to everybody who's here, when you do have an issue that comes across your desk, please let us know, and we'd love to let the community know about it. Thanks. Thank you so much. So now we are to Commissioner Rothman on streets and sidewalks.
Not to cut you off, do we
Oh.
want to bounce back to
Oh
Captain?
no, Captain Haskins, I'm sorry. Adrian, you're in charge.
All good. Captain
Thank
Haskins,
you.
you're pinned. As soon as you unmute, you're good to go, Captain.
Sorry, Captain, that is my bad.
Oh. Captain might be a little distracted. No.
I messed up the whole meeting, guys. I'm
Craig, did
sorry.
you have a question about what's currently ongoing? You are unmuted, Craig, but if you are speaking, we cannot hear you.
I'm speaking now.
There we are.
Okay, hi, I'm Craig Perry. I'm a board member, the treasurer of at 4444 Connecticut. And probably not surprisingly, I'd like to have a few words about the car wash. Is this an appropriate time for that?
Would you mind just waiting until the end of our committee reports, and then
Of
I'd be
course,
happy
of
to hear
course.
you on this. This
Of
is
course.
thank you, Craig, for being here and for speaking on it. We had a resolution about this last month, and it's actually been on my mind too. So I'm happy to hear you out just after we get through the
Of course,
committee reports.
sure.
Yeah.
In due
And
time.
Captain Haskins. Thank you so much, Craig.
Captain Haskins, you're back.
I
We
am
got-
back. My apologies.
Not at
They
all.
updated my Windows operating system here, and I pressed the button I never knew existed before, and everything vanished. But I found the button, and everything has returned. Fortunately, in time. For PSA 203, the last 30 days, no reported violent crimes. Unfortunately, we did have 3 burglaries in the last 30 days. We did have 1 motor vehicle theft, 5 theft from autos, and 14 non-auto related thefts. Actually, pretty good numbers on the with thefts and violent crimes. 55% reduction on theft from autos from the same 30-day period last year, and a 56% reduction in thefts other than from theft from autos, same 30-day period last year. And I know on the I got to check on the other burglary, but 2 burglaries, but I know the most recent burglary last week over on Wisconsin Avenue in the southwest corner of the PSA. We closed the burglary with an arrest. So, and the person has been held until next month. So that is a good arrest there. So we're hoping that no further burglaries from that person anytime soon. With that being said, any questions on crime in the last 30 days?
Thank you so much. I think we're
I think we're all good.
good. Thank you so much. Thanks, Captain, for
Thank you
jumping
for
in.
having me. And if you will allow me, I will drop my email in the chat. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Please go ahead and give me 5 seconds to give you permission to do it, and you'll be able to do it.
Thank you for having us, commissioners. And again, apologies for the technical issues today.
No, we appreciate you being here.
Not at all. And it's great to have you on video as well. Thank you. It really does mean a difference to
you.
everyone.
So everyone can correct me if I'm wrong, because clearly I'm a little off base here tonight, but I think we're gonna go now to streets and sidewalks. And Amy Rothman, and actually Craig, considering, I think the car wash maybe is an issue of a street and a sidewalk. We'll put in your question after Amy's report and the vote
Appreciate it. Thank you.
upcoming. Okay, so Amy.
Craig, I haven't seen you in a
you.
while, and sorry to cut it. I haven't seen you in a while, but I was myself part of the car wash resolution. So if you weren't familiar with it and weren't around or I guess it's been 2 months now, to be fair. I invite you to quickly peruse it on the website while we're going through this. Just check it out, because while the effects might not have taken place yet, as a neighbor, I can attest to that fact.
Yeah,
We-
I don't know what'll happen if I
But
have
yeah,
to leave,
go on.
but I will
Go,
look at
please.
it. And perhaps you and I can talk about it offline some point if you want.
We should. Sorry, Commissioner Rothman.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll just briefly speak on a desired public purpose expenditure for CME flags for $210.79 for the busy intersection at Reno and Warren. So just quick summary, kids and adults are afraid crossing this intersection, especially at rush hour. The community has asked for a light at the intersection, but DDOT has informed us it's not happening at this time. So this public purpose expenditure allowable by ANCs would be to purchase CME flags. And these are the bright flags that help increase visibility for pedestrians. It's a low cost measure to help people feel safer while the district considers wider measures for Reno Road, which I understand are under consideration for the future. So you may have, seen some of these flags at the intersection already because Stephanie Resnick, I don't know if she's on, has gotten neighbors together and funded one set herself with neighbors. But there are 2 crosswalks at that intersection. So we would be purchasing a pair to match the neighbor funded set. And a side note, you may have also seen at that intersection the slow down signs. DDOT gave those to me to put up. Community members, FYI, you can get those signs for free through your ANC commissioner. That is it. Courtney, would you like to do the vote?
Yes, I'd like to move that we vote to approve the direct expenditure for the Warren Reno crossing flags. All in
Second,
second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I see all commissioners, Adrian, Commissioner Iglesias, you're not on.
he's away for a couple seconds.
He is.
Okay. All right, so we'll log the vote as the 5 commissioners present voting in favor. Thank you so much, Amy, for bringing that forward.
Commissioner Rothman, please send me the information about getting this paid.
Will do. Thank you so much, Commissioner Guzman.
And I think we were going to quickly report on DDOT Safe Routes to School. I actually did not get an update from the DDOT program on their contractors who are working on the Safe Routes to School plan. And that's just my bad. I'm sorry. I contacted them about a couple things and I did not get them on this. So unless Commissioner Guzman, you have any info on that, we're going to have to unfortunately update you at the next meeting on the progress of that plan.
The progress of the Safe Routes to School for merch.
Yes.
Yeah,
the one thing we've been discussing with Principal Sabrinsky has told us that he is missing a crossing guard, a much loved and needed crossing guard at Reno and Davenport. So that's you, Claudette. I don't know if you have talked to Principal Sabrinsky about that at all. I know he mentioned it to me when I was at the Welcome Back to School event.
I know DDOT, it takes a few months, but they're addressing it now. So I know it's in progress because they're looking at just like, I forget what the radius is. I don't know if it's like a 3-mile radius, but they're looking at the area, the school and the area surrounding the schools. They're a part of some project doing that. So, and this is all part of what they'll be looking at. So.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So it's in progress.
Sue and I met with the contractors for that program. So that was the update we were talking about. This is a secondary issue that Principal Sabrinsky reached out and said that he's missing a critical crossing guard that he's had in the past.
Right, and that's
that with him.
Right, and that's part of that. That's part of what DDOT is looking at because the crossing guards is under DDOT.
Claudette, The Safe Routes to School people have told me that since that crossing guard was already a approved position prior to the Safe Routes of School contract being issued for merch, that we should be able to advocate for that, and it does not need to be part of the Safe Routes to School program. So, they did ask me also if you could share your contact at DDOT that you've been working with about the crossing guard, and we can get the two of them talking.
No, that came out of the meeting, the last meeting that we had with DDOT. So it is part of the project that they're looking at. It is part of the project. Thank you.
Sue, schools and universities? Do you have an update?
No, other than my conversations regarding Safe Routes to School for merch and the crossing guard issue, I have no other updates.
Okay, Craig, I'm gonna bring it back to you.
Unmuted here. So I'm not familiar with the resolution, so I'm kind of probably speaking out of school, and I understand that the car wash has now posted an employee at Connecticut Avenue in the driveway, which has helped a lot as far as pedestrians. I feel a little parochial in talking about the problems that our building and our neighbors have right at the corner of Albemarle. But the crosswalk is often blocked, uh, especially on weekends. There are horns honking and all of that. I have two specific suggestions that might help with the problem, and the one would be to paint a big hash marks in front of our driveway and the alley, which would suggest to people they shouldn't block it. And the second, and this is more dramatic and a bigger ask, is if parking were restricted from the alley to Connecticut Avenue on the north side of Albemarle Street, especially on the weekend when the real problem occurs. Uh, it would allow, if there weren't cars parked there, it would kind of give a lane for cars that are now kind of stuck there to bypass the congestion, and so that all that congestion on Albemarle Street would be greatly eliminated. So those are the two suggestions. One, kind of a small ask to paint X's in the street to suggest to people that they shouldn't block the alley and the driveway. And the bigger ask would be to restrict parking, at least on the weekend, from those, I guess it's 6 spaces from the alley to Connecticut Avenue, which would allow cars not to get stuck there, but to pass. Those are my two suggestions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And appreciate your being here. Appreciate the suggestions. Adrian, do you want to just give a 2-minute talk to that, or do you guys want to, or I think you guys should also speak offline, because it would be great for you two to work
Yeah,
together.
Adrian, if you would, you just let me know how to
Craig,
get.
yeah, I've got your email, you've got mine. We'll see each other soon, I'm more than sure. And just to give you an actual quick response, your first suggestion is much more feasible in that I think that Hastings could make it happen themselves, or it could be a privately done thing, in as much as painting or giving indication of where the garage entrance is.
And the alley.
And the alley, to be yes, because the alley is a privately owned thing as well as the issue. For the other one, it does, from what we've understood from our talks with DDOT and MPD, it does seem like it'll be much trickier to get any sort of, basically any signage always seems to be tricky. That being said, the focus of the resolution we mentioned is where we've two big things. They are the car wash does seem to be consistently impeding public right of way, and does seem to be impeding two big intersections consistently, and isn't remedying it effectively. And so we've called on MPD as well as Mayor Bowser's office, to try and police that a little more proactively, because it does seem like they are very much in the wrong, like you've mentioned, and they're not only being a nuisance, but again, just impeding traffic in the public way. And so hopefully now that the resolution is there, we can refer to something tangible when we reach out to complain about the car wash, because historically the issue has more so been lots of complaints about the car wash, but nobody, nothing.
This gives us something to point to.
Yeah, nothing too tangible legally for us to point to beyond the fact that people are annoyed and that it's a nuisance. And now this gives something in writing, for lack of better words, that we can point to with it. Not to say that it's going to fix it immediately, but it's to say that your concerns are very much on the forefront of our minds.
Yeah, I know, and we're just, we're one building, and, the ANC has a much larger,
I
bigger.
think
Yes,
it's
but no,
really
but
relevant
it's
to
not
the
just about your
whole, the
building.
way the traffic flows. I think Craig, I've said in the past, if the line at Bread First was allowed to go straight out and block a
Yeah.
lane, Connecticut Avenue, we wouldn't find that acceptable. That would be a blockage of public space, just because it's it's cars, it's people, you're blocking a lane of traffic. That's not their property to impede. So
Yes, they have put a person there. I mean, that's a big step.
Yeah,
But-
I thought when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, a person, they listened to our resolution. But the person does help the pedestrians, so they're sort of maybe like a quarter of the way to what we need them.
Well, and it does, it prevents a car running into a pedestrian, which is,
Yes.
a nice thing.
Maybe that's 3/4 of the way there, then I should give them a little more credit, because we
All
don't
right,
want
well, Adrian, if you'll send me an email, and thank you all, who are serving on the ANC for your service. It's, I'm a bum I haven't done anything about it, but, thank you for being there for us.
Well, you're here, listen along.
Yeah.
So we appreciate
Thank
that.
you
Thank you,
for-
Craig.
Thank you for caring about what happens in your neighborhood.
We're gonna move along so that we're not here all night. We have Michaela Bauer, who is a certified student attorney at the Community Development Clinic at the UDC David A. Clark School of Law. And Michaela is going to give a presentation on knowing your rights. Adrian, do you see Michaela?
Hi, I've
Yes,
been
Michaela's
unmuted.
pinned and unmuted.
Thank you so much. Is there a way that you can enable me to share my screen so I can put up the presentation?
There is.
Thank you so much.
1 quick second.
Thanks,
And
Michaela, for
Michaela-
being here. This was this has been a very several constituents saw this presentation at a meeting that Councilmember Robert White hosted, and they've they've been doing this around the city, and we're very happy that you're able to be here tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy
Yeah,
to be here
UDC.
doing this community outreach. Yes, I love UDC and we're so happy to be giving back to the community. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, or it's sharing.
Yes,
So.
perfect. Thank you. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Michaela Bauer. I am a third-year student at the University of the District of Columbia, David A. Clark School of Law. I'm a certified student attorney through the DC Bar. And this program is run through Professor Emily Casamadas. She runs our legislation clinic, at UDC Law. Please note that this presentation is for educational purposes only. We are not giving legal advice. We can tell you about the law, we can tell you about the rules, but we are not here to give any specific situational advice or to answer any questions about any personal experiences. So we've been getting a lot of requests for these Know Your Rights presentations about what to do when you encounter law enforcement in DC. We're going to go through 3 questions today. First, what if law enforcement knocks on my door? Second, what if law enforcement stops me in a public area? And third, what if it looks like someone else needs help? So first, what if law enforcement knocks on my door? First thing you're going to do, keep the door closed, keep it locked, ask, do you have a warrant? Through the door, do you have a warrant? If they say no, then you have no obligation to open the door. They have no right to continue the encounter or to enter your home. You can end the encounter there. If they say yes, ask them to provide a copy of the warrant. Now, don't open the door just yet. Ask them to slide it under the door, hold it up to a window, take a picture, send it to you, whatever you need to do to see a copy of that warrant without letting them in the property. Once you do see the warrant, you want to check to make sure it's valid. So to check to make sure it's valid, you want to check for 3 things. It has to name the location where you currently are, the person or objects that law enforcement is searching for, and it has to be signed by a judge. If all of these requirements are met, then law enforcement does have a legal right to enter the premises. At this point, for your safety, you should unlock the door, open it, and step aside and let them enter. We wanted to provide some examples of some warrants. We've been getting reports that immigration enforcement is using invalid warrants and detainers. I know they're pretty small, but just as kind of an example, so you can see on this left warrant, you can see in the highlighted areas, there is a place for the person or property that's being searched, what they're looking for, and it's got this judge signature at the bottom. In these immigration examples on the right, there's an ICE administrative arrest warrant and an immigration detainer. These are not signed by a judge and they are not valid. They do not give law enforcement a right to enter your premises. You do not have to let them in. Next, what if law enforcement stops me in a public area? So there are 5 key phrases to remember to preserve your rights if you're stopped in public. These are not magic words. They probably won't make the police stop acting illegally, and they can't ensure that the police won't violate your rights, but they can help create some accountability after the fact in the court system. So the first phrase that you're going to say is, am I free to go? One more time, am I free to go? If they say yes, immediately, calmly walk away, end the encounter. If they say no, then you're officially being stopped and you likely have to stay there until law enforcement tells you that you can leave. So if you are being stopped, the next thing you're going to say is, I do not consent to a search. One more time, I do not consent to a search. There are circumstances where law enforcement is allowed to search you once they have stopped you, but regardless of what the circumstances are, say it loud and clear, let them know, I do not consent to a search, make sure it's on the body cam. If the courts find that the search is illegal afterwards, there can be no argument that you consented to it. You're establishing your rights for accountability later on. The third thing you're going to say is, am I under arrest? If they say no, you're going to go back to question number 1. Am I free to leave? If I'm not under arrest, am I free to go? If they say no, you're going to have to kind of keep asking. If they say, yes, you are under arrest, then you are likely going to be cuffed and detained and processed at this point. At this point, a lot of people say, what if I'm following the rules, but the police aren't? Like I mentioned, these aren't magic words. They won't make the police stop what they're doing and automatically follow the rules and follow the law, but it can help with the accountability. And also, we want to keep you safe in the moment. So even if the arrest turns out to be invalid, we are proceeding in the interest of your safety. So saying these things can help establish that accountability while still keeping you safe through the encounter. The fourth phrase is, I want to speak to a lawyer now. If you're placed under arrest, you want to demand to speak to a lawyer. You do not have to have your own attorney to ask for one. If you're being charged with a crime in DC, the district will provide a lawyer for you. If it's immigration enforcement, they are required to provide a list of attorneys, but they don't necessarily have to provide legal representation. The last phrase, this one has these big orange exclamation marks. We want you to really remember this one. I wish to remain silent. Now, that's not the important part. The important part is after you say this, you have to actually do it. Stay quiet. Don't say anything else until you speak to an attorney, because if you do, you may be waiving your right to stay silent. So I wish to remain silent. That's the end of anything you say. You don't talk to law enforcement after that. No one until you talk to an attorney. And some people often ask if they have to provide their ID when law enforcement asks. If you're driving, you do. You always have to carry and provide proof of your driver's license if you're operating a vehicle. If you're not driving, you do not have to carry identification. But if law enforcement asks, you do have to provide your name and address. You can't lie about it. You have to provide your real name and address. If you're concerned about immigration enforcement, We are encouraging people to carry copies of their proof of documented status. Keep the originals somewhere safe. Make sure a loved one knows where they are and has access to them. But make sure you take a picture on your phone. Keep a copy with you, something like that, so that you have it readily available. Now, the third topic is, what if it looks like someone needs help? So the first question is, can you communicate with them? If you can, ask them if they need help. Ask them what they need, how you can assist them, and then do what they ask. If they say no, that they don't need help, then move on unless the situation seems unsafe. If you cannot communicate with them because of a language barrier or because they are unresponsive or the situation is unsafe, there are several alternatives to calling law enforcement. I can drop some resources in the chat, but just as a general overview, you can call the community response team, which will send behavioral health workers 24/7. You can consider carrying Narcan, which is an opioid overdose counteractive treatment. It's free at many DC pharmacies, and I have a link to where you can pick up free Narcan. You can call the shelter hotline for any unhoused folks who may be seeking shelter, and the hotline is available between 8 a.m. and midnight. You can connect people with local mutual aid groups. There's a DMV link that has all of the DMV mutual aid groups kind of collated into one area. Or you can call 311 for help with non-emergency issues like parking enforcement. So what if law enforcement is already present? First, take out your camera, start recording. It's always legal in DC to record law enforcement in public, but you cannot interfere with what's happening and what they're doing. So record, but keep your distance. Take a step back, especially if they ask you to. Use the Zoom function on your phone. Make sure that you're not getting in the way with anything. You definitely don't want to make it a more unsafe situation for yourself or for the person being detained or arrested or for any of the bystanders. While you're recording, you want to ask them questions. Ask law enforcement for their name, their agency, their badge number. You can ask them why the person is being stopped or arrested. You can ask the person who's being arrested for their name or if they have any family members or loved ones that they'd like you to contact or to share the video with. Remember, you want to be involved, but you don't want to get in the way and you don't want to escalate the situation. And then after you take the video, after the encounter, then you need to share it. Share it with the person who was stopped or arrested. Share it with anyone they asked you to share it with. Or you can also share it with sort of like these watchdog groups. There are several council members who have set up reporting pages for law enforcement encounters. There are independent groups like the Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid Network who collect video and other reportings of sightings. Here are 2 points of contact. This top phone number you can use to report any sort of active immigration enforcement activity. And then this bottom email is for Film the Police DC, which is run by that Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid Network we just talked about. And they collate other law enforcement activities, so you can report it there. Okay, this is a video of people, this is young folks in DC interacting with police. It's a very quick video. Oh, let's see if we can get it to play. There we go. Okay, I know that's kind of a lot, but these guys did everything that we want. They say, "Am I free to go?" They ask repeatedly because they're not getting the answer. They're saying they're enforcing their rights. They're staying calm, filming without interfering. And then once they hear those words, you're free to go, calmly, immediately leave. Have a good day, and they walk away. And this is exactly what we want to see. We love to see this, the enforcement of rights, role models, really, community role models. Okay, so if there's one thing that you take away from this presentation, it is to try to de-escalate. I know I've said this a few times, but it's your safety is paramount, and the safety of the people around you is very important. So act in the interest of your safety. Please try not to escalate the situation. Take deep breaths, count to 5, do what you need to do to stay calm, narrate your movements. I'm reaching for my identification. Let them know what you're doing so there's no surprise or sudden movements. Encourage the people around you to stay calm. Just, do what you can. The phrases are easy. The presentation is easy. We can talk through it all day, but in real life, under duress, it may not be easy to remember these things. So please, I can't emphasize enough, stay safe. Do what you can to stay safe. Make sure that you are always acting in the interest of your safety and try not to escalate the situation beyond whatever may be happening. And this is just a fun little reminder that the people of the district have always had to fight for their rights. These are the members of Self-Determination for DC, dumping crates into the Potomac to protest taxation without representation. It was only 65 years ago that DC residents couldn't vote for president. Only about 50 years since the DC council and mayor position were created. And the attorney general vote for the first time was just barely over a decade ago. So we can get through tough times together. We can persevere together, and we can keep each other safe together. Does anybody have any general questions that I can answer? I just want to remind you that I cannot give any legal advice. I'm just here for general educational purposes. But if you have any questions about clarifying what I've presented today, I'm happy to try to answer those.
Thank you so much, Michaela. Does anybody have any questions?
And the last thing I'll leave up while anyone is thinking that over is these are free legal resources for if anyone does need legal assistance. They are actively opening intake for policing cases in DC, and they do those pro bono.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And to you for your time, to UDC, again, for giving the community this resource, excuse me. I think we have wonderful partners in our neighborhood in law enforcement, as you saw with Captain Haskis, and I would think that it's important for all of us to know our rights and understand what you can do and not do to keep yourself and others safe within our community. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, UDC. We're now going to go to DC Water and Sean Moore. Sean is going to speak about the capital improvement program. DC Water, while he gets up there, I'm just gonna, because we're behind, gonna sort of intro a little bit what he's going to talk about. I think a lot of people have seen this. DC Water replacing existing 12-inch and smaller cast iron water mains in various locations throughout the city. Coming up now is work on Cumberland, Chesapeake, and Brandywine, and Davenport, between Connecticut and Nebraska. So this is right in the depths of 3F. And so I want to thank Mr. Moore for being here to just speak a little bit about it, because we've all seen it, and we're going to see a little bit more of it, and it's good to know what's happening. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sean Moore, and I'm a Communications and Outreach Manager for DC Water's Lead-Free DC program. And I'm glad to be here with you this evening to share a little bit about our program. I'm going to move through the slides pretty quickly. If you have any questions, you can certainly email me afterwards, and I'll provide this this presentation to the commissioners so that they can share it with all the attendees. So just quickly, what is Lead-Free DC? Of course, Lead-Free DC is DC Water's plan to remove all 42,000 lead service lines from the district. We're doing that a couple ways. First, we're replacing all the known service lines. So where we know it, we're replacing it. And the places we don't know, we're working to verify the material. And if we find that that material is lead, we'll replace it for free. Next. So where are we? As of this morning, we have replaced 9,856 service lines, and we're definitely moving close to that 10,000 milestone, and I'm looking forward to celebrating that in the next few weeks. Next. Just if you like to follow along and check our progress towards that 10,000, we do have a program status dashboard on dcwater.com/lab that you can check out. Next. So why are we focused on lead surface line replacement? Of course, it's really about the health effects of lead. There's no safe level of lead. Lead's a powerful neurotoxin that damages the brain, kidneys, heart. Every system of the body is impacted by lead, but especially children are the ones who are most, they have the highest risks from lead exposure because they're still developing and they can have decreases in IQ and attention span, other behavioral problems. So there's nothing good about lead. And for that reason, we're really focused on removing any potential sources of lead. Next. So just to clarify, when we're talking about the service line is the line that runs from the water main in the street into the house. Just a quick note that in DC, the homeowner owns that entire service line, but DC Water maintains it in the public space. But the homeowner is responsible for any costs related to private property construction. But with DC, with programs like Lead Free DC, we're doing that private side for free. So we have special money that allows us to do that work. Next. So we're replacing lead and galvanized pipes. It's just a couple of photos for you to see the lead. If you see that white pipe with the little bulb, that's a lead pipe. Also on the right, you can see the galvanized pipes, which are full of accumulated debris called tuberculation, which can trap lead particles. And for that reason, we're replacing both types. Next. So just a couple of quick things that we do have. If you want to find out what type of service line material you have, we have a great lead map on our website, dcwater.com/lead. You can go to that map and look up any address in the city, and it'll tell you what type of service line material is there. And if you already have a non-lead service line, you can print out a verification report for your home that says, hey, my home does not have lead service line. It has a copper. We also have a construction dashboard so you can keep up with the where we are in terms of our construction activities. Next. So we're doing replacements 3 different ways. I'm talking about 2 ways today. Today, I'm here to talk about capital improvements projects, which include our small diameter water main replacement projects and our bi-block service line replacement projects, both of which are happening in 3F right now. We also have a lead pipe replacement assistance program, and we have a voluntary full replacement program. And LPRAP, or lead pipe replacement assistance, is for folks who just need the service line replaced on the private side, and you apply for that through DOEE. And for the voluntary full replacement, that means if you have a full lead service line and DC Water doesn't have any construction planned immediately, you can apply for a voluntary full replacement, and DC Water will pay for the public side, but you would be responsible for the private. Next. So small diameter water main replacements. Now, next slide, please. So one of the main reasons I'm here today is because we're about to start a small diameter water main project in your neighborhood. And when we do our small diameter water mains, we're replacing and updating the existing 12-inch or smaller cast iron water mains. The result of that is that we're going to have improved water quality as well as reliability. We're going to, in addition to replacing the mains, we're going to be replacing all the hydrants and the valves. And during this construction, if we find that you have a lead service line, then we are going to replace that for free. So we want to make sure that you recognize that there's the opportunity to get your service line replaced for free. Next. So just FYI, I do have my construction manager here. If you have specific questions that I can't answer, and I have some other members of my team here that can answer some questions specific to the work that we have about to start in 3F. We're basically, our scope, we're doing a little over 1.5 miles of water main replacement. We're replacing that cast iron with ductile iron pipes, plus, of course, the valves, the fire hydrants, and the other related pieces. And you can see all the blocks. I know the commissioner did tell you which ones were affected, but those are the blocks. And if you go to the next slide, I have a little phasing diagram. We're going to start probably, anticipated starting by November, and it's going to go through mid-2027. The first section is going to be on Davenport, and you can follow the line, and you'll see the colors on the bottom right to show you what the phasing is. One of the things, we're going to be doing this work in 1,200-foot sections. And so we'll start the work in that 1,200-foot section. And once we finish everything complete in that section, then we'll move to the next section. So it is going to be a lot, and it's pretty disruptive. If you go to the next slide, it's lots of impacts. So we're going to have, of course, parking impacts. There are going to be multiple water outages during the process. Of course, you'll have advanced notification of any water outages. There are going to be outages for water system testing, as well as when we connect the neighborhood to the new water main. There's another outage when we connect your service line to the new water main. And then there's another outage when we remove the old water main from service. So construction hours are, I don't remember off the top of my head what the hours are for this particular project. It is on our project information sheet, which I will share for those who don't have it. But it's typically, and Shaw, I don't know, or Taylor Ray, if you remember, those are two of my colleagues who are on the line, the exact hours for construction. I don't remember that, but I will find out and let you know.
I think the page said 9 to, this is not one of your colleagues, but the information that you sent, I believe, said 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, perfect. I know it varies based on the street and the neighborhood, so that's why I didn't want to speak out of term and tell you something that wasn't true.
I mean, I hope I'm not speaking out of term, but I read it recently, so I think I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay, perfect. Construction will be during the daytime. If we do need to do nighttime shutoffs or any type of construction, we will come back to the ANC and talk to you about that and get your authorization to go forward with any nighttime work. Do know that temporary restoration during the process, and then after we finish it all, we'll do all the permanent sidewalk, driveway, and other restoration. The thing about the small diameter projects is when I say that 1,200 feet, we do that 1,200 feet from start to finish before we move to the next 1,200 feet. So that we want to make sure we minimize the disturbance and keep it to that 1,200 feet before we move to the next section. All right, next. Also, just wanted to let you know that we do have some bi-block service line replacement projects going on as well. Unlike the small diameter water main, the bi-block is just an individual service line, not the water main, and this is done on a house-by-house basis. Folks who are eligible for bi-block service line replacements will get notifications. We'll also have our team will be out doing some canvassing to let folks know about that. If you go to the next slide, we have 23 blocks that are where we have service line replacements. There are approximately 247 premises. And right now we have about 44% of the people signed up who are eligible to participate in those upcoming bi-block projects. If you go to the next slide, there's a list of the blocks. And if your home is on that block and you do have a service line that's made of lead, we'll replace that for free as part of this project. Next. So the key thing here is we do need your permission in order to do this work. We have an agreement that you'll receive either via mail or someone will knock on your door, or you can go online and sign up for it. And this is the key to us being able to reach our goal of lead free, is to get everyone to sign up to participate and let us do the work. Because if we don't get everyone's buy-in, we don't make our goal, and that would be most unfortunate for us not to make such a worthy goal. So please, we all want your support as ANC commissioners in the community, and to be able to get this work done and make this lead free for for the community and for the city. Next. I think my colleague Shah had his hand up. I don't know if you can see it, but if you go to the next slide, that's his information is here on the slide. Shah Sherzi, and I think he had his hand up, and I just want to make sure.
Yep, correct. Sorry, it's under shares. I see it now.
Yes.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Shah. I'm the construction manager for this small diameter water main replacement. I wanted to unmute earlier when there was a question about the work hours, but I couldn't. So this is my first time joining these meetings. Thank you for unmuting me. I just wanted to respond to that question. The work hours for this project would be 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It is according to the DDOT's approved occupancy permit for this project. Thank you.
Thanks, Shah.
Thank you. And Shah, you did nothing wrong. I just failed to see your hand raised. Thank you.
All right. And so on this slide, you'll see Shah's number. So if you have questions, you can reach out to him. We also have our lead hotline, the 202-787-4044 number. There's some other numbers listed there for other DC water resources. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see my information. And please feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions regarding the program, upcoming construction, or anything else. And I'll make sure to respond to you and direct you in the right resources to answer your questions.
And Sean, just making sure that you and I'm so sorry if you did address this and I just I'm blanking on it now, but in the chat somebody Commissioner David is just making sure to confirm, will you be sending notices to all the apartment buildings and single family homes affected by this?
Yes.
Perfect.
So yes.
Thank you.
And Sean, just to reiterate that there's no charge for the homeowner to get the pipe replaced from the street onto their property.
That is correct. So
to their home. Like that's because I know I've gotten some things in the mail at times from various agencies that say like, or they you get this insurance or pay ahead of time so that you can get so that when it comes down your pike, you don't have to pay for this replacement. This is not that. These are not those letters.
No, these letters, first, I want to reiterate that it is free. The entire service line replacement is free. Like I said, we have money to pay for that private side so that the homeowner doesn't incur any costs related to it. As a part of that replacement, we do full restoration. So we want to make it, put it back the way we found it. I know sometimes that's a concern, but we want to work with homeowners to make sure that we, provide full restoration so that it is as good as it was when we got there. And again, it is free. There's no cost to the homeowner. The only thing that a homeowner has to do is to sign the paper and be home when it's time for construction. And that's it. We'll call and schedule, to coordinate around as best as we can around the homeowner schedule and just try to work with them so we can make it as easy as possible.
Thank you, Commissioner Guzman.
Yes, thank you. So the outlined block on Davenport Street contains a public elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, have you been working with DCPS as far as like maybe modifying the work times or whatever? Because I'm thinking about not so much drop off in the morning if you start at 9, but 3:30, school gets out at 3:15. Additionally, like no parking, I don't know, there's buses. I mean,
I think in some of the
I've-
commercial areas, they were able to work overnight. Is that the case, Sean, for when you have a commercial or an educational or a large situation such as an elementary school?
Yes, and my colleague Taylor A did mention she may have her hand raised. Taylor A
Oh.
Lavelle. She's been doing a lot of our outreach work and coordination with the schools and other community groups. If she can answer, Taylor A Level, Levell. I don't know if you.
I just saw her on the list here. Well, if she can't
I'm sorry, she's coming
respond,
up
let's
now.
make sure
Yeah,
that we're really going to address that with one of our really biggest constituencies,
Yes.
Morse Elementary School.
Oh, wait, she has her hand raised.
There it is. Sorry, find it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor A. Lavelle Young, and I am the Small Diameter Water Main Outreach Manager. So we have noticed that elementary school, and we are planning to have a meeting with that principal to make sure that where the location of the construction's happening will not impede on any pickup or drop-offs for that neighborhood. So once we have that conversation, we're going to make sure that they're updated just as the community will be updated in our weekly emails that we provide. We're going to add the principal and whomever else they would like on that listing. But our goal is to make sure that we're not impeding. And I'll be working with our construction manager, Shaw, as well to make sure that we meet with them as a tag team.
Taylor, are you able to pivot to an overnight work schedule in order, because I mean, obviously they couldn't. I remember that the 5,000 block of Connecticut, they lost a day of some of those restaurants lost a day of service. So obviously, they'd have to close the school if you can't like flush the toilets, if you have to turn off the water. So are you able to pivot to an overnight schedule for that block?
Yeah, I'm going to hand this to Shaw, our construction manager. He is willing to work with the community, but I want to get his direct information on this piece. Shaw?
He has his hand up.
Yes, yeah. Regarding the water outage, as if there are elementary schools that's impacted in any area, so as a general rule, we do the water outage overnight, and this will happen for this area as well. We'll make sure that water outage where it's a commercial area or stakeholders like schools are impacted, we do that overnight. Recently, we did an overnight water outage and shutdown and reconnection to the system at the southeast, which was a school there impacted. And regarding the public safety during the work hours during the day, we assess the safety of the public, the schools, the pedestrians. And recently in one of the other locations, we placed 2 more flaggers at a time when the kids were out on the road at around starting from 2:30 all the way to the end of the work. We are closely working with residents there, evaluating the safety issues, evaluating the public, the water outage and impacts on the publics, and we consider them all as we are doing with other projects, and we'll do the same for this site.
That's great. Thank you. Just, you probably already know, but if you don't, there are 3 classrooms at Murch Elementary that have kids with physical disabilities in them. And so it'll be really important that the buses that bring those kids to school have access at the curb cuts where they need to get into school and things like that. But anyway, that's probably too much into the weeds, but just so you're aware.
That's okay.
Yeah,
We'll make sure that we address it.
Okay, just to ensure you, yes, for one of our locations, we had a resident who was pregnant and was expecting a baby anytime. So we always carried a steel plate with the team contractor was always ready to put the steel plate on the excavated trench to facilitate access to the resident at any time. And we will do the same for this specific classroom accessibility that you mentioned. I took a note of that and we will consider that. Thank you for mentioning that.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
and
You guys sound
Commissioner,
full service here. I love it.
yes, and Commissioner, if you would like to be on those emails with myself and the principal to make sure
Oh.
that we get that handled, I can add you if that's okay.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be
Okay,
awesome.
perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Sue, just to close this loop, you know, we weren't updated about the 5,000 block of Connecticut just because of a communication snafu. So I think it really is important that you're bringing that up and that you get looped into this to make sure that that these things are.
Ms. Level, also, Murch Elementary is in Commissioner David's ANC as well. So if she would like, maybe you'd like to add her as well. I'm chair of the Schools and Universities Committee, but Murch is actually in Commissioner David's ANC or single member district.
Yeah, and my question about notifying apartment buildings, because there has been a couple of disruptions in apartment buildings off of Davenport. That's been a major issue with DC Water. So, and we haven't gotten any type of notices beforehand. So that's why I really wanted to make sure that any disruptions this time around, maybe at least a day, 2 days, but same day or not knowing at all is really tough on residents in the area.
Yeah. And we will definitely work with the building owners, because with the apartments, of course, we provide the information, but it's, you know, they have to provide it then to the tenants. And I think that's, you know, we'll continue to follow up with them to make sure that information does get disseminated out to folks, so that when a water outage or something else happens, we have provided that information to them and asked them specifically to alert residents to what's going to happen.
And when you email us, if you can please just add all of us to those emails, because then we can also, it's another layer of communication that we can use. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we can actually add all the commissioners to the email to make sure that you all receive it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. We're going to move on,
Thank
guys,
you.
because we are behind. But thank you so much. I actually tried to screenshot the screen in your presentation of the ANC3F blocks, but maybe Adrian, you can post that somewhere prominently on the website so people can see that
I will do.
if they go to it.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
and being here and being added to the agenda. Mr. Green request for extended hours. We're going to try and move quickly because it's already 8:45 and it's not anybody's fault who's going to come after where we are right now, but it's the situation we're in. So Nick.
Nick, I will unmute you now. 1 second.
Adrian, this is your
Again,
S&D,
Mr. Green is our local new cannabis dispensary, and I believe Nick will be sort of just giving us a short overview of his case for extended hours. Oh, you're not unmuted yet. Sorry, I'm just rambling because I thought you were waiting. There we go.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can, Nick.
Awesome. All right. Hey, thank you guys for making this happen again. I know it's 8:40. So actually, before I get into it, is there a way for people to like if they want to talk or chime in or put something in the chat? Because we have, again, like this petition thing that we talked about last time. I invited some people who wanted to either join this meeting or somehow reach out to ANC. So I don't know if they are still here.
Can they email us? Just in the interest of
Yeah,
time.
but just if there's a way for them to raise hand or say something.
Yes, if they're in the meeting right now, they can raise their hand and it'll be immediately visible to all
And
folks.
the thing they could do actually that I think would be in the best interest of time, anybody can email can chat with the co-hosts in the chat. So we will see, so they could let us know that they're here in the chat.
Yeah, all right. So
Thanks, Nick.
I'll try to rush through this.
Thank you.
No problem. So this is the same, I guess, topic that we're bringing up. We have been talking to all our patients, and one of the frustration we are feeling with all the neighbors who are coming into our dispensary is we close too early for them to get there in time. Um, I know cannabis is still a taboo, and I really hope that we can help educate people through this medium or our dispensary. And we have, again, like talking to all these patients, it's not just that they're running late from work, then they have to rush to get their medicine. And with everything going on in DC with National Guards and whatever else, I think it's really important more than ever now that they get their medication that they're entitled to. I know last time when I mentioned this, a lot of people were comparing cannabis to milk, or liquor or Tylenol. Again, it's not milk. It is not liquor. It's not something that they can just stock up. Plus, DC also have some allocation. You can't just buy in bulk and have it in your house. And also different cannabis have different kind of effects. So if one day you are anxious, you're suicidal or whatever is going on, and you need your cannabis and you don't have a medium to get to that, I honestly wish that we can see it differently. It's just probably our bias that is stopping us from doing this or helping people to get cannabis if after hours or after 8 o'clock. Because other than that, like when we told our neighbors why ANC didn't want this to happen, they just don't see a reason from their side. Because imagine if you are, you need your medicine and you go take Tylenol, but they can't and they don't, or they don't want to, they're not left with a choice now. So we are like just kind of, cornering them and saying, hey, these are our rules, so you just have to just play by that. Now imagine if all the board members or ANC were vegan and there was a meat shop that opened up, and ANC says, hey, we can't let you open past 7 just because we don't like meat, is not like, it's not, I guess, resonating with them. It's not something like an illegal business that we are running. It's a, legal DC business, and I don't see a reason why we can't open past 8 o'clock when APCA also has suggested that we can open till 11. So I know I'm rambling a lot, but short on time. I wish I had more context to give you guys. But as you guys requested, I did send at least 3 big files of petition that were signed by your neighbors or our neighbors, and I wish we can hear them out and see what we can do to help them. And I'm not asking for us to open till 11 p.m. that APCA can allow you, but I'm saying even if he allowed us to open till 10 or 9 on weekdays, that would really help our neighbors to get what they're looking for.
Thank you, Nick. Let me quickly, iPhone has raised their hand. If you'd be so kind as to introduce yourself and any question or
Adrian, I
comment.
thought we were going to take people's comments in the chat. Because it's over time.
I'm actually so sorry. I misspoke about that, but yeah, give me one quick second then, and let me give people the power to do that. And
And I don't mean, just to let the co-host know, I think everybody already has the power to just speak to the co-hosts.
correct.
So be able to hear people's comments.
Lovely. In which case, person with their raised hand, feel free to reach out in the chat. And just, yeah, and I guess to move forward on our end, I'll give, and other commissioners can feel free to step in and correct me if I'm wrong. I will just give a like super brief snippet of what I understand the general commissioner consensus to be on this. And then I'll give my own personal view on it as well, if you so care to hear, Nick. But so it's I guess 2 major things. At first, we wanted to. The first major thing we said was we kind of want to adhere to, for lack of better words, treating it like we would treat a liquor store, thereby sort of matching the hours to other liquor stores in the area. That said, like you mentioned, it's not necessarily just like a treat or a fun thing for everyone. It's also, yeah, it's a medical thing, it's a medicinal thing. And that is valid as regardless of how many people might use it recreationally. That being said, even the pharmacies in the area, which is to say, I mean, not to say there's many, but effectively CVS, which is our local pharmacy, and give me like 10 seconds to confirm Pill Plus because I don't want to forget our local businesses.
Sure.
But and Pill Plus Pharmacy, yeah. So what we effectively, we're kind of looking at the local hours of both the liquor store and the existing pharmacies, and they aren't much later. Is kind of where our general minds are at. Pill Plus Pharmacy, which is one local one, is open till 6 most days and then closed on the weekends altogether. And CVS is only open until 8. So both the liquor store and the pharmacy kind of match Mr. Green's existing hours. And that is where I understand the general consensus to be at right now. I personally, for what it's worth to you and the rest of the commissioners, I don't, especially given that we did receive the petitions we emailed, and given that the neighborhood, at the very least, definitely doesn't seem opposed to you being open later. And to tell the other commissioners and anybody listening, the petition that Mr. Green did give out stipulated that they were trying to aim for at least 11 p.m., which is to say people that signed it were okay with it being that late. I definitely would be opposed to that myself, but I will say that if you're currently open till 8, it would not be the end of the world for me, nor do I think that it would be the end of the world for the neighborhood, given your petitions to be open till 9 p.m. Going later than 9 p.m., I personally am not, I don't know, especially given what I said about the liquor stores and the pharmacies, which is kind of what the commission as a whole was talking about. I just, I'm hesitant to justify it, and I can't find a way to justify it myself. But I pass the baton along to other commissioners, if any.
Yeah, and can I also ask a question on this?
Absolutely.
So, and when we talk about other pharmacies, right? Usually the substitutes are over-the-counter pills for like a prescription Tylenol. Is that right? And usually you can get that at Giant, which is open till like late.
Not necessarily over the counter, but I mean even prescription pharmacies, like if
I
to get a
I don't know that we can totally parse this at 8:45, guys. About
yeah,
what,
but I do think it's a very straightforward and simple answer, or at least as I understand the question. Even to get a prescription for a prescribed medicine at CVS, which is our pharmacy option that is open as latest, 8 p.m. is how late you can do it. And although it may be necessary, people still do need to plan ahead, which is why they have, I mean, you're even open through the weekend.
Right. Now, and my second question, I'm sorry, is there like a really solid reason of what's stopping us to like open till 9 or 10, I guess? Because again, like we have done everything according to our agreement, plus especially taking security very seriously, not just putting a security guard, but also like metal bars and fingerprints and all that good stuff. Like considering safety as a measure, and we do everything in our power to do that, is there anything else that is stopping us that says, this is a bad idea?
I'm
I
going to
don't
call on Commissioner Bear.
Perfect.
I'm against extending the hours for Mr. Green.
Understood. And to answer Nick's question, I think how I understand it, the main argument or the main mindset is that we would like to match your hours to existing businesses, and the main thing we would like to avoid is for this singular thing to be open in this strip of 2 or 3 blocks to be our cannabis dispensary, I guess, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty or a practical thing. I think that might be one of the primary concerns. It's just nothing else around here is open that late. So
I mean,
I think we would like to avoid the only thing being open that late being that, because again, people can plan around the existing hours. And if that's the only thing open that late, we don't necessarily want to attract.
So we also have a settlement agreement, if I can just just to try and move this along, I'm sorry, Adrian, but we have a settlement agreement that we signed less than a year ago. So if we'd like to take this, like if we don't want to vote on this just now tonight, I didn't get the petitions weren't sent until during the meeting, so I haven't had a chance to look at what you've sent to us. I'm happy to look at this at the 1 year mark, Nick, if that seems like to the other commissioners sort of a fair barometer. I don't believe we're there yet at this point. So we can take what you've presented to us, look at the existing settlement agreement, discuss it amongst ourselves, and we can come back to this at the 1 year mark from when you've opened. Does that sound like a fair compromise for the moment, and that allows us to sort of move along?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not sure how to answer that, because like the petition.
I think it's, the answer is we're punting this a bit, in order to not give you an up or down, vote at this late an hour when, we might want to sort of
Yeah.
table it.
But just sorry, one more comment to add to that. The Potbelly and the Vietnamese restaurant, they're open till 9 or 10. It won't be just
9
us.
or 10? Which one?
I think it's 9 for Potbelly and 10 for Vietnamese restaurant. And I think Gold's Gym is also open till like late, like 11 at night. So
You are correct, which is I will circle back to why I'm personally okay with 9 p.m.
Yeah, we're the
thank
only
you.
one that closed that early in that whole strip. So at least 9 on weekdays or 10 on weekends, that would be very helpful. And again, like it's not just me asking it, it's the people who have talked in that petition, the veterans who are tapering off from opioids and need
Thank you. So you presented us with the petition. It's now been discussed. We will talk, I mean, does everyone, do we think, I mean, I think this is a fair point to decide that we will look at this at the 1 year mark, which I believe is November. Is that right, Nick?
Probably. I mean,
Okay.
I don't remember.
Without objection, the commissioners, would we agree that we would revisit this at the 1 year mark?
Sure.
Or we could do an up or down vote this evening.
I'm great with the 1 year mark, and at risk of occupying more time, I just want to respond to some to more than one message actually, which I've received directly. And as somebody who uses cannabis and has a medical license or a medical prescription for it, I just want to be completely clear that while access to medicine is absolutely imperative, preventing a local dispensary from limited.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is not about you, Nick. I'm just I'm a little taken aback by this, as again somebody who uses cannabis. I'm so sorry for any deaths that might have happened, and for any people who may have benefited from medical cannabis. That being said, it's daft to suggest that opening a dispensary for an hour later will prevent a patient from receiving adequate treatment when they have much time to plan and receive that medication. And I think that people should absolutely have great access to medication. But I don't necessarily think that restricting hours by a margin of 1 hour when you're open 7 days a week is preventing people who are deathly ill from living their best life. And I really hope that people don't think that we're just being anti-weed, for lack of better words, because again, I'm just such a consumer myself that I was really taken aback to receive not just a single message just now. I'm a little shocked anyway. Sorry to take up more of this time. And Nick, this really is again not about you personally in any way whatsoever. The message were not from you. So
I really do
thank
appreciate it.
you.
It's just that I just feel like, you guys are preventing people from getting what they're looking for, and this is nothing illegal that we are doing. And
No one has suggested that in any way, shape, or form. We did agree to a settlement agreement, and we're
but
gonna
see,
have to move on. But
I know,
we did agree to a settlement agreement
that
less
settlement
than a year
agreement was
ago.
based
So I
on
find it
it.
to be, I guess I will. I mean, obviously, I think it's fair, but we agreed mutually to a settlement agreement less than a year ago. So let's revisit that settlement agreement at the 1 year
That
mark.
settlement agreement at that time, I was given the hours like Podbelly and all the other places close at 8, and we would be the only one, just like, we talked about today. And then we later after the settlement, we
Nick,
found out
hey,
that was
Nick,
true.
it's like, this is, you've had the time to make the case. We're happy to discuss with you again offline, this, and we're all gonna review the information that you sent us during the meeting. But the settlement we agreed to is a settlement agreement. We both agreed to, neither one of us were under duress at the time, we agreed to it, we signed it, we discussed it at length. And so let's stick to that meeting until that agreement until the 1 year mark, at which time we'll reevaluate that. I think that is fair.
All right, let's move on.
Moving on. Thank you so much. We're not going to discuss this, but just for information purposes, the ABCA cannabis application for Canna Art is moving to a protest hearing on October 1st. I don't think there's much else to report on anything other than that. I think last time we reported that several neighborhood businesses who also wanted to protest were denied standing by ABCA, but that I think is really the only news there. We're going to move on to the letter to the Public Space Commission. We have a couple of issues on the same, a couple of items on the same two properties at 5027 and 5029 Connecticut Avenue. James Alfontis is here, another small business owner in our neighborhood. James, can you spotlight James? And I think I can share my screen. I don't ever have to share my screen. Hate to do it, but let's see if I can do it. James, would you just let people know what is happening and what you're asking for? Because a lot of the commissioners on our off month already addressed this, so we're going to just address it again for the public.
Yeah, I'd be happy to give you a quick summation if everyone can hear me. It's pretty simple. I've appeared here many years, and so for many years, and for over 22 years at this commission, asking for this sort of similar things, and so I hope you all understand where I'm coming from. Basically, we are asking to put Sidewalk Cafe in public space on the sidewalk in front of 5029 and 5027 Connecticut Avenue Northwest. And also for the ability to serve alcoholic beverages during operating hours on those said patios.
Lovely. I'm sorry, I'm having a terrible time sharing my
Let me know if you have questions.
Sorry.
I mean,
I was trying to share my screen. I just can't do it. I don't remember how to do it. So that is absolutely most straightforwardly what the ANC has two letters, both in support of a sidewalk cafe endorsement and a stipulated license for 5029 Connecticut Avenue and 5027 Connecticut Avenue. We are going to vote on those separately. And commissioners have seen this letter that I'm sorry I can't share with everybody else, but that's basically what it says.
right. To be clear, it's I believe there are two applications, one for each address for a permit for a sidewalk cafe, and then at the same time there's an endorsement of our ABRA license, our existing ABRA license, which allows us to serve alcoholic beverage on that sidewalk cafe, and then also within that there's a stipulated license of for ABRA, which allows us to serve while we're waiting for the ABRA full board meeting. That all is very compressed because we're here now, and the ABRA board meeting is the end of October, and the DDOT public space hearing is potentially September next in a week, but it seems like maybe they've pushed us back for another month.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But we've had a lot of great support from all of you, all of the neighbors, anyone who we've talked to about this, Commissioner Carlson, all of the ANC, all of DDOT, all of the heads of DDOT, all of the number twos, all of the ABRA people are all really, excited and pushing and trying to keep us on schedule for making sure we can have outdoor seating on the street there or on the
And
sidewalk.
save for tonight, it's been a beautiful month, so we miss your presence out there. I'm sure it's hard on
It's
you,
been
and
sad
really,
for us
yeah,
and
it's
hard,
been
but
sad.
we press on. We're in the long game here for the
Okay.
neighborhood and for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you so much, and we're rooting for you. So I'm gonna do 4 votes just to make sure we have this exactly right as we need to. So apologies for the rigmarole, but let's just, I move that that we support an ABCA Sidewalk Cafe endorsement and a stipulated license for Actual Space LLC, TA Muchas Gracias at 5029 Connecticut Avenue. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
That's all commissioners present, 6. I'd like to move, but we support the same vote for 5027 Connecticut Avenue. That's the same exact same big slice, the exact same license, different name, 5027 Connecticut Avenue, Big Slice LLC, TA Honeys. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 6, all commissioners present. And then next, we have 2 resolutions in support of public space permit application 1153012 at 5027 Connecticut Avenue. This is in favor of the public space application for the Public Space Commission, which we hope will be on the agenda in September. All in favor of supporting the resolution for 5027 Connecticut Avenue?
Aye.
That's all commissioners present, 6. All in favor of the resolution in support of public space permit application for 5029 Connecticut Avenue? That's application number 1142609. All in favor of supporting that public space resolution? That's all 6 commissioners. Thank you very much. I hope we are rooting for you. If there's anything else the ANC can do to get those patios back and get you back serving the most neighbors you possibly can, please let us know.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dedication to the neighborhood and for your support of the businesses and the restaurants and our staff. Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Okay, the BZA, 2 BZAs for Alton Place. This is another situation that's the same, and yet we're going to vote twice to support 2 of our neighbors, Seema Gandhi and Tony Baresi at 3564 Alton Place and 3566 Alton Place. Hi, Seema and Tony. Can you quickly, I'm sorry, but we want to hear what what your issue is and how we can help. We've discussed this internally, just so you know, and that's it. Commissioner Iglesias has gotten us up to speed, and I have also spoken to Tony. So I want to make sure everyone knows that we have been previously briefed on this issue as well.
Yeah, and I am welcome to deliver the overview myself if you were both more comfortable with that, but please go ahead and step in at your leisure.
Maybe cleansing. Speak your story, guys.
Well, let me start quickly because I think Tony's had to bear the brunt of it, so might need more catharsis. But in short, both Tony and ourselves moved in to 3564 and 3566 within literally a month of each other. So we've been neighbors for about 3 years now. And from the day we moved in, we've been experiencing challenges, leaky windows, just all kinds of changes to the walls. And Tony can talk more about some things that have been specific to his house because they've really had to bear more than we have. But the reason we're here today, not to necessarily bore you with all of our woes, but more specifically, the city reached out to us earlier this year and said that in the course of their review of permits from, I think it was 2021,
they found yet another place where the developer erred on the job. And essentially, the city also erred and approved and then inspected and later approved and then also issued certificates of inspection that Tony and I, to our detriment, relied on. And essentially, the houses are roughly 2 feet too tall. We had no way of knowing this when we bought these homes. There was no way we could have known. And the city essentially told us that we either need to chop off the top floor or fill our garages with dirt in order to comply, or come to you and go through this process of applying for an area variance. So we really hope that this is something that is fairly straightforward. Again, we're not asking to do anything special or make accommodations. We really just want to leave the homes as they are, and would really appreciate your support in approving the area variance. Tony, is there anything you wanted to add?
No, maybe just a little bit of context around how the review came to the city, and that was because the defects to my house are, in particular, are so significant that in order to rectify them, I have had to enlist team of architects and GC subcontractors, and they've had to develop a new set of architectural plans that's so extensive it required building permits to be issued by the city. And it was upon that review of those permit applications that they realized, oh, we accidentally approved the height and story count of the building despite it not being consistent with existing code. So it was as everything seems said, but especially, you know, a little extra galling, I guess, to say, oh, on my permit application, you caught it. Thanks for that. 3 years too late. But, you know, it is what it is. And actually, frankly, the board of the BZA was very understanding of the situation and is trying to work with us to make sure that we can document it correctly, get it approved. And so it's not going to be existing on anyone's deed or be a lien of any sort. And this is the process by which we do that, which is to apply for an area variance and to get the endorsement of the ANC and our neighbors. So we thank you all for hearing us out. And if you have a few extra hours and some drinks, I'll tell you every little detail if you're interested. But that's basically what's going on, and that's why we're here.
Well, I'm sorry that this happened to you. It sounds like a hard situation to be in. And the ANC has discussed this. So I would like to move that we vote. We're going to do 2 votes on this. I move that we, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'd like to make a motion that we vote to approve the BZ application 21347 at 3564 Alton Place.
A second.
All in favor of approving that BZA?
Aye.
That's 6, all commissioners present, unanimous. I'd like to move that we approve the BZA number 21348 at 3566 Alton Place.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor of approving that?
Aye.
That's all 6 commissioners, unanimous. I hope this in some way helps move you guys along and helps you feel good about being in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Sorry you had to go through this.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Really appreciate it. All of you, thank you very much. And we'll have both houses on the mend here, I think within a calendar year. And we'll have a block party. So thanks. Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
We'll raise a glass to you then. Thanks so much. Now we are at our last agenda item. I'm sorry, I've lost my way here. This is Commissioner Guzman and the treasurer's report. I have my notes and here separately.
Great. Thank you, Chair Carlson. Okay, since we did not meet in August, I previously sent the commissioners the July and August. Wait, yes, July and August monthly treasurer reports. If there are any questions, I'm happy to entertain those now. Are there any questions from commissioners regarding anything in just those two monthly treasurer reports?
I didn't have any questions.
Okay,
Oh,
no.
just a quick question about the lawyer. Just for the
Okay,
community.
okay. I can address that now. I also was going to talk about it when we cover the fiscal year 2026 budget. In July, yes, we did, as a commission, we approved money to be spent for an attorney to represent us in the Canna Art protest. We did less than a week's worth of work with that attorney, and for a variety of reasons, we jointly decided to part ways with that attorney. We consulted OANC about payment of his bill, and I'm happy to tell you that the commission did receive an expert technical assistance grant from OANC, and his bill was paid. So we have since retained a new counsel, and we are in concert with OANC about further technical assistance grants to pay those fees.
How much are both, like, so how much was for the first person and how much is the second person?
The first person was paid $4,000. The agreement that we have with this new council is that their bill will not exceed total 15,000, and that represents the 20,000 that the ANC had previously approved in July.
And then the grant is for how much?
The grants are in $5,000 increments, Commissioner David, and that is you have to apply several times because they are in $5,000 grant
We have
installments.
received one only so far.
We have received one so far, correct. Before we can apply for further technical assistance grants with the new council, we need to have not only the retainer agreement, which has been signed, but we also have to have some bills, which we have not yet received. So once all of the necessary application requirements, I have all of those intact, I will apply for additional assistance grants.
So just really quickly, so basically we didn't, I don't know what the term is, but we didn't really pay, like it canceled out. So the bill,
Correct-ish.
the
Correct.
grant paid for the bill.
Correct. Actually, we still have $1,000 left from the technical assistance grant to apply to this new attorney relationship. The other thing that should be noted is that it's not that, yes, we parted ways with that attorney because of a difference in how the commission wanted to proceed with the Canna Art license application. But we did succeed with the lawyer's help in extending the protest hearing deadline. And that gave everyone more time to actually figure out how to move forward cohesively. Is there another chat? Is there another question in the chat, Commissioner Iglesias? Oh, yes, I see that.
Somebody had asked something earlier, but hold on, let me review. I think you covered honestly most of it.
I don't see anything else.
Yeah, no, it was
Okay,
a direct message to
so
myself.
Bold
But you've
Alley is
answered the
sending
question.
me Bold Alley is sending me some private messages regarding this. And first, before I answer any questions from Bold Alley, I need that person. That's a business name. I would like the individual that is in our meeting to identify themselves.
I think
Bold
you
Alley,
need to,
this
I
is
think
your
you need
opportunity, Bold Alley, to identify yourself, and I will answer direct questions, provided I know who the individual is that I am responding to.
it looks like he's still muted.
Hi, this is Katrine Verklas. I'm the owner of Bold Alley. I'm currently occupying the space that Cannot occupies, and I would like to know what the attorney's mandate is in this regard. I certainly
Mandate as to what? Mandate as to what?
as to the application for Canna Art.
We have been very transparent on that, Katrine. We are, as a commission, we are protesting Canna Art's application for a medical cannabis dispensary license.
Right. And so the attorney's mandate in this regard is to
Represent the commission, represent the
Yes,
attorney
represent the
represents
commission.
commission in a protest hearing, which requires exhibits, witnesses.
witness list.
And none of the members of this commission are attorneys. And therefore, the Office of the ANC recommended to us that we apply for an expert assistance grant, technical assistance grant, because it's a pretty legal proceeding, and none of us had the sort of ability to put together in our volunteer time what we needed to put together to appear at a protest hearing.
Okay, so you have legal representation now.
Yeah.
Because the word on the street was that you got fired by the previous attorney.
Yeah,
That's
regardless
I
of the word on the
previously-
street, Commissioner Guzman's statement over the past 3.5 minutes was addressing that directly. If you have a new statement or question to make, please make it, but we're already past time.
Oh,
So
I know.
please-
I've been waiting for this opportunity to actually get to the topic.
Yes, no, but
that's
so
all I
now's the
needed to
opportunity,
know, so
please,
I
get to the
appreciate your
point,
answer in
Katrine.
this regard. I understand you have legal representation. I got
And
it.
we were not fired. It was a mutual decision to part ways. And in deference to the attorney who I'm in speaking, I am not going to tell you the terms of that parting of ways.
And also, if you have questions, you also don't have to always wait until 9:19 p.m. We're all easily reachable via email.
Well, there is a meeting agenda with times, and so I was actually hoping that the meeting agenda would be met with the correct time, but clearly that didn't happen.
Well,
So
I mean,
Yes,
I
you
think
might.
hanging out here
a lot of
until you're all
things-
done.
You'll
Wait a
learn from
lot.
regular attendance to the meetings. The agendas don't always run quite as smoothly, but that's why we're trying to smooth it out this time with the new system.
So Sue, I think you can keep going because we have to get to the budget as well.
Yes. Okay. So again, are there any additional questions regarding the July and August monthly treasurer reports? Okay.
Thank you.
There's also, I distributed to the commission the ANC3F fiscal year 25 quarter 3 financial report. Are there any questions regarding that?
I actually do have a question on that. Sorry.
Okay.
But I actually think that we may need I guess my question was about the website and where we stand with the website, but I think we're waiting on OANC, and I think you did a lot for you allotted for extra money to make sure if we didn't get the website.
Oh, wait, that's about the budget, Courtney. I'm
sorry.
I'm just talking about the quarterly financial report.
Oh, I thought we just blew by those.
No, there's
we
a
have to
bunch of
vote.
things since we didn't meet in August. There's a bunch of things that
I'm
we
sorry.
have to do. So this actually, the fiscal year Q3 financial report, we have to actually approve as a commission. And then I'm going to get some signatures of everybody later. But that one, the monthly treasurer reports are FYI. And then the quarterly reports, we have to have a vote to approve.
Okay, sorry, but
No,
I was
that's
ahead of
okay.
myself.
Are there any questions on that Q3 25 financial report? Are there any questions regarding that?
No.
Okay, great. Then
No.
I make
We're
a
preparing it.
motion that we would approve the fiscal year 25 Q3 financial report for ANC3F. Do I have a
Second.
second? Great, thanks,
Second.
Mitch.
Aye.
All in favor?
All in favor, that's all 6 commissioners present.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, now, Adrian, could you please share screen and put the draft budget for fiscal year 2026? Thank you.
This is where my eager beaver question came in.
I love it. Well, that's a good question. I'm going to go through when we get to your where I'm gonna go through line by line, and then this is also a time I want the notes to reflect. This is also a time for community comment. So if anyone has any questions about any of the numbers, any of the line items in this budget, I would love to answer them and be transparent in this process. Okay, so the balance forward, we will not know exactly that number until our bank statement clears for September. That is the official end of fiscal year 2025. So that line is an estimate. The green line at the top is an estimate about what our balance forward will be from 25 into 26. Our district allotment remains the same as it was in 2025 for 4,132.94 each quarter. I have estimated interest based on the interest that we received this year. That will obviously fluctuate based on interest rates and all kinds of things, money that we have in the bank in any given month. I have estimated the $15,000 that I mentioned before for reimbursement funds through the Technical Assistance Grant Program for OANC to pay legal fees. That's the $15,000 remaining of the $20,000 that was already approved by the commission. We don't have a savings account. We are not anticipating any other refunds. So those are the main, that's the main influx of money per year for our ANC. As far as expenses are concerned, there is a personnel line item for basically like an operations manager type role that we have with the commission. There are some communication fees that I have, and this is what I think Commissioner Carlson is asking about. Number
You want me to
three-
ask the question now?
Yeah, number 3 under disbursements.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. My question is, because we've been in a sort of a state of flux with OANC regarding coming under their umbrella in terms of a website. So, and this is good for the community to know, if you don't love our website, it's because we keep thinking that in just one more month and just one more month and just one more month, we're going to be transitioned over to a website that will be governed by OANC under the DC government, which I think will be great. We're really looking forward to it. But in the meantime, we have sort of a website that we've not put a lot of effort into, because at any moment we're going to get a great new website. So apologies to everyone for what's lacking there, and we hope to get it going better in the future.
Yeah,
But
to clarify,
that
we haven't put a lot of effort into updating it very, very recently, is what
I'm sorry.
Chair Carlson's trying to say.
I'm sorry.
Just
I
to
don't want to
clarify
bag on
that.
anything about the website. What I say, I wish it was more robust, and it will be. And all the effort that's gone into doing the little robust things is appreciated. But the problem is that's left us in a budgetary flux as well in terms of not not being able to like renegotiate with Wix to get the cost down, and sort of anticipating costs or not costs. So I really wanted to hammer that home for everyone to hear. And Sue, I wanted to make sure that if we don't have a promised website, which we have enough money to cover Wix, which I think was a higher cost than we had anticipated because our like previously year-long, I think we had a yearly fee and now we're working on a month-to-month, which is a higher rate.
Yeah, actually what had happened before was that there was the commission's debit card was placed on an auto renewal program with Wix, which none of the existing commissioners who were responding understood why that was. So we have ended the auto renewal program, and now we are finishing out our year with Wix, and we will renew, probably not at the higher level platform, but we will renew probably in like a quarter or 6-month basis, depending on what OANC tells us about the likelihood that our website will be transferred into and folded into their broader initiative to do all the websites for the ANCs. So
Yeah,
the
we hope
money,
so.
the money that has left is less than last year, but enough to cover minimal Wix if needed. And then the other thing is that the community should understand, and all the commissioners should understand. I didn't realize this until I became treasurer, that there is an opportunity to move money around in the budget during the year. So even if for some unforeseen reason we would exceed that $2,000 because OANC doesn't fold us in as soon as we thought or whatever, we can still move money into there to accommodate that line item and not be like overdrawn or anything like that.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that's a
Yeah.
real thing that's been on a lot of our minds.
Yes, that has been, yes, exactly. And if there are any other questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. Number 4 under disbursements, office supplies, there's a minimal amount in there to for the commission to have flexibility to, like, for instance, if we would decide, this doesn't seem like a big deal, but if we would decide that the commission needs envelopes that actually are pre-printed with the commission's address, that would allow us to do that. But because we don't keep an office, and because all of us are very generous in donating our own like home printer services and stuff like that, we generally do not carry many office supplies expenses in this commission.
And would like subscriptions like to like Adobe, to Doodle, is that covered under that
No,
line?
that would be under our communication line item.
Okay.
That would be under our communication line item, but we can also do that as well, provided that we all approve the expense.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to, like, yeah, the budget is fungible, like, and we just vote during a meeting to increase, whatever we set aside that year. So it's, as long as you have funds in the bank, then we could do whatever we want. So within the means of the OANC.
Carefully.
Thank
For
you.
reiterating that.
Do we have to vote on anything though?
Yes, we have to vote on this budget. So
Okay,
if I could just finish.
I know,
have to,
I know. I think it's important that we go through it just because,
Well, the other
we gotta-
thing that's required, the other thing that is required is that the public has been given an opportunity in this meeting to have full transparency and disclosure of the budget, as will be logged with the OANC, with the understanding, as Commissioner David said, that money can be removed around. but we have to offer a public comment period in order for this to be valid and approved by OANC. Okay, so
Quick question, will it be on the website then? Because there's only 13 people now, so it's, we started with like 50.
But anybody can see that, but anybody can see, like, I think a lot of people, actually, I know a lot of people review the meetings recording.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if the comment period is like, would you do that next time before so people can comment on this because we're about to vote on it? So
the comment period will extend until the end of September 2025. But we have to have a budget voted on at this meeting.
Right.
So, but the comment period extends into the end of the month.
September 3rd.
So then we should make this budget planning available on the website.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
I
all
think
I'm saying.
Sue had put that in her email when asking people to review it, that it was going to be posted on the website.
Right. I had asked Adrian to put Commissioner.
I will make sure it's
Iglesias.
on there.
Yeah, to put that on the website because yes, I think you noticed that, Commissioner David, in the email that I sent to you.
Yeah. No, it's just that we get it, but like for the community, it's, it's just right now. So it's like maybe if it were on the website earlier or something, or,
Sue
so
sent
we're
it.
good. Thank you.
When I
Sue
sent
sent
this
it
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago,
It was
that
on the
my
website.
intent.
No, it wasn't. No,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking
yeah, that's
about.
my bad.
I'm just
Fair
talking
enough.
about the
It should have been
no
on the website
worries.
earlier, but it will be
No
on the
worries.
website though.
Thank you.
Well, I know that you extensively speak with your constituents, Commissioner David, so I encourage you and everyone else to spread this amongst your constituents and let them know that it is available on the website and that we are welcoming a comment period. Hey, Adrian, can you put that? Thank you. Okay.
Oh, was it away that whole time? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was. Can you put that back on there, please? Well,
Yes, I can.
actually, I have mine here, but I just wanted everyone to be able to see it.
There it is.
Okay. Public purpose expenditures, that is the new language for grants, and that has been increased by $10,000 this year because I know that all the commissioners have an appetite for more giving, and we actually ended up exceeding our grant making than what was targeted for this year. So I think we should all feel good about that, but I wanted the budget to reflect that philanthropy. And purchase of service, that is where the attorney's fees are represented. The $15,000 attorney's fees are represented in that line item. In addition, for some extra consultancy fees, if the commission moves forward with its plans to sort of resurrect its Instagram account. Bank charges, number 8, include fees that are assessed by TD Bank for administering our account. So that pretty much summarizes my budget presentation. Again, until the end of the month, we won't know exactly what the balance forward number is, and that's why this is a draft budget. But according to OANC rules, we approve this draft budget, and then in October, we will, during my treasurer's report, briefly share the finalized budget where that balance forward is 100% accurate. Okay, does anyone have any questions?
Just thank you for preparing all of this and explaining it.
This is a lot of work.
You're welcome.
It's a lot
Thank
of
you.
work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your questions. Anyone, as Commissioner David has pointed out, any of the last like 10 or so people of the community, does anybody have any questions?
And I think we have made clear time and time again through our meetings over the last, year, that this commission is always open to feedback, comment from the community. We've sought it out, and we've responded to it when it's been presented to us.
Yes, I agree. And I want the recording and the notes to reflect that I made note of every OANC guideline and requirement in noticing and organizing the budget, and all of those have been followed. I want the commission to know that we are in compliance with all OANC guidelines.
Thank you. Thank you for making sure we're hewing to that. Can I move that we approve this budget?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's all 6 commissioners present. Thank you so much, Sue.
No, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for your input. And again, I encourage all of us to make sure that our different single-member district communities are aware of this budget and what it means. And I mean, it shows what we're committed to. If you look at all the disbursements, very little is to overhead, and mainly it's to grants, and then furthering constituent desires about certain issues in our neighborhood.
Thank you. Do you have any other items in treasury or commission business?
I do not. I do not.
Do any commissioners have any other updates that you want to put out for the record? Again, I would relay my apologies for the long meeting. If anyone has suggestions about how to shorten the meeting, I'm all ears. I'm going to move that we adjourn this meeting. The next
Second.
ANC3F meeting, oh, sorry, I'm going to say this first. The next meeting of ANC3F will be held on Tuesday, October 14th at 7 p.m.
Wait a second.
Zoom.
Oh.
Now I'm going to move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second, all in favor, jump up and down and wave.
Aye.
Thank you very much. And
guys.
thanks for everyone for all their hard work.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Bye.